Good afternoon. Welcome to the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady University Master of Science in Nutritional Sciences Dietetic Internship Program's virtual open house for fall of 2023. Our outline for today will review the program's mission, an overview of the program. We'll discuss our curriculum outline. We'll discuss our rotation overview, opportunities for professional development, our admission requirements, our tuition, and reasons why you should choose FranU, and lastly, how to apply to our program. So my name is Dr. Catherine Fake. I am the program director here at FranU. I've been the program director going on 3 years now, but I have been with the university for the last 8 years. To the left is Ms. Teosha Nelson. She's our academic support coordinator and supports the program in every way, shape, and form. And to the right is Ms. Amy Serio. She is our director of clinical education and oversees a lot of the rotation and clinical experiences for the students. The mission of the MSNS-DI program is to educate and form entry-level registered dietitian nutritionists or dietetic practitioners to meet the core competencies for becoming servant leaders in health and wellness. With a concentration in community nutrition, graduates will be educated in the most rigorous, individualized, professional, and comprehensive manner. I would like to note that the dietetic internship program is fully accredited by ASIN, and our Master's of Science in Nutritional Sciences is fully accredited by SACS. The program is housed in the School of Health Professions. At FranU, there's 3 different schools within the university. One school is the School of Nursing, the School of Arts and Sciences, and we are located, as I mentioned, in the School of Health Professions. The School of Health Professions, we are there with a number of other allied health programs, including the Physical Therapy Assistant Program, the Rad Tech Program, Respiratory Therapy, Medical Lab Sciences, Physician Assistant Program, and lastly, the Doctorate of Physical Therapy Program. And here we've displayed a couple of pictures of our students in the simulation lab and the simulation hospital, which we'll talk more about. We have a student here practicing inserting a nasogastric tube on a mannequin, and we have another student performing a nutrition-focused physical exam on a mannequin. We are a graduate degree program, so as I mentioned, we are a combined Master of Science in Nutritional Sciences with a dietetic internship program. The program satisfies the requirement to complete an ASIN accredited supervised practice program in order to sit for the RD exam. And as you are probably aware by now, effective January 1st of 2024, the minimum degree requirement to be approved for eligibility for the registration exam for dietitians will change from a bachelor's degree to a graduate degree. So the FranU program offering a master's degree combined with the dietetic internship satisfies this requirement. I would like to mention that we are right now a Master's of Science combined with a dietetic internship. However, we are in the process of reorganizing our program to what's called a Future Education Model Graduate Program. And so it is important to note that we have applied to the Accreditation Council for Education in Nutrition and Dietetics, known as ASIN, to open a new and innovative program to prepare RDs starting in August of 2024. We submitted an eligibility application, which was accepted by ASIND, and we are in the process right now of, we're in the candidacy process of our proposed future education model graduate program. So we do expect to receive candidacy for the reorganization to an accredited graduate program in January. And if we do get approval at the board meeting in January, then there are some changes that will occur, which we'll talk about in this information session. But if we do get approval if we do get approval in January, our first cohort will be accepted in August of 2024. And with the opening or the reorganization of the graduate program, it's also important to note that the dietetic internship program will be closing. However, this doesn't impact the potential students applying to our program at all. So we will discuss that in further detail. So a program overview, and this of course will not change if we do get approved for reorganization to the graduate program. This all will stay the same. So our program is an unpaid internship, but however, there are stipends and financial aid available, and we do also offer the opportunity to apply for scholarships as well. It is a full-time hybrid program, which means that some courses are face-to-face and some courses are online and some courses are hybrid. It is a 17-month long program, so students applying right now will start in August of 2024, graduate in December of 2025. So we feel like our program is a pretty accelerated program. Being a master's program, you'll finish in less than a year and a half. We do follow the academic calendar, which means that we do have scheduled breaks between semesters, and our students are off for university holidays. During the first semester of the program, we work a lot, or our students work a lot in our skills lab in our simulation environment teaching hospital known as SEF to conduct skills labs and preparations for supervised practice, which will start in January. So skills lab preparations are completed during the first semester of the program, and then rotations begin the second semester, which is the spring semester. You'll begin in January of 2025 if you're applying for this round of application cycle. Lastly, the program is 36 total credit hours. There's 26 credit hours for the didactic coursework, which is the coursework in the master's, for the master's degree. And that coursework is 100% online. We do have 10 clinical credit hours that encompass a variety of rotations and simulation hours. And again, for a total of 36 credit hours over the course of a 17-month-long curriculum. This is our curriculum. As I mentioned, it is 17 months, but it is divided into 4 semesters. So as I mentioned, you'll start August of 2024. So you'll do fall, spring, summer, and then graduate the following fall in December of 25. As I mentioned, we follow the academic calendar. We have scheduled semester breaks. But the first fall semester, you are not in rotations, as I mentioned, but you're taking 3 online courses you're taking 2 online courses, 1 face-to-face course, and 1 skills lab course associated with advanced methods of nutrition assessment. In the spring, you're taking 3 online courses and 1 supervised practicum course, which is called Dietetics Practicum 1, and that is when you begin rotations throughout the hospital, outpatient settings, food service, community rotations, which we'll be talking about on the next slide. During the summer is an 8-week course, and you'll be enrolled in 6 credit hours, an ethics course, bionutrition, and in a 2-hour practicum course. And then the last semester of the program, You'll be enrolled in 2 online courses and then the last dietetic practicum course for a total of 7 hours. I do also want to mention that fall and spring semesters follow a 16-week semester, and the summer, as I mentioned, follows an 8-week semester. And I'll hand it over to Miss Serio, and she'll discuss our rotations.
Good afternoon. Like Dr. Fake mentioned, I am the Director of Clinical Education, so I oversee the majority of rotations and rotation placement, grading of rotation objectives, and several other things, relationship with preceptors, etc. So just to kind of go over what Dr. Fake mentioned, that we do start our rotations in January, and each rotation varies in length. So from a week to 5 weeks in length. Our clinical rotations and our food service rotations are the longer of the rotations. Most are located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is where FranU is located as well, and then Lafayette, Louisiana, which is about an hour west of Baton Rouge. And there's a lot of students that live in that area, sometimes commute from Baton Rouge or to Baton Rouge. And then we also have other areas to the east of Baton Rouge, near New Orleans, that sort of area that we have connections with through our health system. And we can place students there as well. So we're always willing to work with the students' location. So the students typically rotate Monday through Thursday, so 32 hours per week. And then, like Dr. Fake mentioned, have class on Fridays. So if there are holidays or things that fall during the rotation week, we typically make accommodations for that so that your supervised practice hours are not affected. So just to break down this table here, you can see how those 1,000+ hours of rotations or specialties are broken down. So 40% of the time, or 14 weeks, is spent doing clinical rotations, and that could be through a main hospital, dialysis, diabetes, pediatric, clinical nutrition, those types of things. 20% of the time is going to be community, and that's some community outreach rotations. We have several community service partners that we work with and that you will be able to rotate with. The third rotation, or the third area, is food service management. So that's about 17% of your experience. And that typically occurs in the hospital food service area, and then in child nutrition services through the school systems. We also have 5% of the areas that are specialties. So we have a lot of different types of rotations. Some of them are week-long rotations that the student will be able to choose to fill in those different spots during the internship and to get those specialty hours. And things like sports nutrition. We have several outpatient dietitians that we work with in the community, community outreach that's not part of the regular community hours. And that gives the student the opportunity to be able to focus on an area during their whole rotation experience that they may want to pursue in their career going forward. We also have professional staff experience, and that's 2 weeks total. So that allows the student to go back to a rotation or to choose a new rotation in an area of expertise they would like to be able to kind of work as a registered dietitian. It's not a graded piece of the rotation, but it's definitely gives you the opportunity to focus on an area that you may have really liked a lot during your rotations. And then the last area that we focus on is research, and you will spend a week at our Pennington Biomedical Research Center. And then we also have 111 of those hours are from alternate experiences. So like Dr. Fake mentioned, the skills lab, simulations, different projects in some of your courses. And that's about 10% of the experience. So when you kind of break it down by semester, you're looking at semester 1, where we don't really have any clinical experience, but you will have some simulation hours. So those alternate experiences. Semester 2, which is going to be the biggest one, semester 2 and 4, the 16 weeks, which are each 384 hours of supervised practice. And then the other 34 is alternate hours. And then that summer semester, which is 8 weeks, you get 256 hours of your rotations and then 9 hours of the alternate settings. So this is a list of rotation sites throughout Baton Rouge. So we have lots of different metabolic clinics. So we have a diabetes clinic, Metabolic Institute, which does bariatric surgery and education. We have several dialysis clinics. You can see the community rotations and the food service rotations in there. Healthy Lives and LSU Sports Nutrition are some of those specialized rotations that you can choose to take part in. We also work with the LSU Student Health Center, which focuses on nutrition amongst the students at LSU, including eating disorders. We work with the Office of Public Health, pediatrics, geriatrics, and a ton more that we didn't have enough room on the slide to put here. And then in Lafayette, we pretty much try to mimic those same rotation sites that we have in Baton Rouge. And that works well for us because we are part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. So we have affiliated hospitals in Lafayette, Baton Rouge, up in North Louisiana, and then also in near New Orleans in that area towards Mississippi. So, but some of the rotations in Lafayette you can see are similar to those in Baton Rouge. We have the community rotations, dialysis, the same with bariatric, geriatric, all those different things, just in different locations. So you could always, if you're, primarily in Baton Rouge, you could still be able to have experiences in locations in different areas as well. So for professional development and continuing education, we do have all of our students attend the FNC Expo, so the National Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo, in the fall semesters. So, or one of the fall semesters. The next one in 2024, you can see, is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then the following year will be in Nashville. And then also the students are required to attend the Louisiana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics annual conference. We call that Academy Land. And that's typically a 2-day conference, and every other year it's virtual. So it is required as if you are admitted to the program. So, that's something just to be aware of. And then this picture here was from FNC last month. So we won the FNC School Spirit Award, and we're pictured with the president of the Academy, Dr. Lori Wright, in the middle in the red there. So lots of good experiences outside of rotations, and good opportunities to kind of commiserate with your classmates. And then some additional activities you would get to participate in is the Research and Scholarship Showcase. And this is one of our former students, Audrey, in the first picture on the left. And she was our fan favorite and the scholarship winner for that year. So basically the research that you do during your master's, during your program, you get to present it to FranU faculty and staff, and also family and friends are invited to be able to see see your research, and then there's also some judges that come through and are able to ask questions and allow for an award for the research. And then you can see here, the second picture is one of our students from the class before who actually took her research and presented it nationally at the FNC conference in Orlando in 2022. So lots of opportunities to move beyond just what's presented in the program. And then the final picture is our last class, last cohort that graduated in 2022. And we are pictured there with our vice provost of the university. We also allow for dedicated time for RD exam preparation. So each semester we have, minus the first semester, so we really start in January, but we have RD mock exams, and we have a total of 10. So between the spring, summer, and fall semester, and they're domain focused. So we break them down into the domains that are featured on the exam. They are cumulative, and it gives the students an opportunity to practice what the exam is going to be like when you actually take it, when you sit for that certification. And also, as part of the tuition and fees, we include memberships in Visual Veggies and then the Gene Inman Review course. Both of these are additional test preparation applications that are used to practice and prepare for the RD exam. And I will turn it back over to Dr. Fake to talk about admission requirements.
So what do you need to know in order to submit your application to FranU? So the next few slides will go over how to prepare for applying to our program. So the first thing you need to think about when applying to any program is to look at their admission requirements. And any dietetic internship program, you will have to have a verification statement from a didactic program in dietetics or a DPD program. While we are transitioning from an internship program to a graduate program, graduate programs do not require a verification statement from a DPD program. And so our new admission requirements, again, pending approval of our reorganization that we are anticipating to hear in January, we have lifted or kind of modified some of our admissions requirements. So I want to go through those right now. So starting for the fall of 2024, it is anticipated that in order to apply to our program, students will either need a verification statement from the DPD program, or if you did not graduate from a DPD program, then you must have the following prerequisites. So you must hold a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited U.S. college or university with the following prerequisites. And here are the list of courses that you'll need. We require statistics, 6 hours of general chemistry, 3 hours of organic chemistry, 3 hours of biochemistry, 6 hours of anatomy and physiology, 3 hours of microbiology, 3 hours of an introduction to nutrition course, 3 hours of a nutrition assessment course, 3 hours of a nutrition and metabolism course, and 3 hours of nutrition and disease, or also known as medical nutrition therapy in some schools, course. So those are all of the prerequisites if you do not have a verification statement from a DPD program. If you have questions about the prerequisites, or of course want us to review your transcripts, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact info will be at the end of this info session, and we'll be happy to look over your transcript and determine the equivalency of these courses in order to come into our program. We do strongly recommend a minimum cumulative GPA of a 3.0 We would like to see some documented evidence of service and leadership through either your work or volunteer experiences. And that can be through work, your school life, your personal life. We just want to see that you're involved. Part of our mission at FranU is to be a servant leader. We're community oriented. We do a very large service learning project with the community every year. And so we do want to see some experience with servant leadership. As part of your application, you will also need to create a personal letter addressing some program-specific questions, which can be found on our website. But these questions include what led you to the field of nutrition and dietetics, why do you want to apply to our program, discuss some of the strengths and opportunities for improvement that you feel, the qualities that you possess, who inspired you the most. Those are just some sample questions that we ask you to address in our personal letter. We also would like to see 3 letters of recommendation. One must be from one of your professors in your undergraduate degree, one from an employer, and that can, like I mentioned, either be like a paid employer from a work or somewhere that you volunteered who can just speak of your work ethic, and any other professional that you choose. We would like to see a resume to include all of your work and volunteer experiences. We also conduct an interview, and the interview also addresses some program-specific questions, mainly some situational questions, some mission-centered questions. And this interview can either be conducted via Zoom if you do live out of state, or face-to-face if you do feel that you can come on campus to meet with us. So it's offered in either format. And lastly, there is a $40 application fee. So this slide covers the tuition, and everybody wants to know, how much is this going to cost me? Well, we mentioned that it was 36 credit hours, and each credit hour is $600. So with tuition and fees, this comes right at $26,000. There is financial aid, stipends, and scholarships available, as I mentioned. And I do want to note that FranU is one of the most affordable private universities in the United States. And it also is important to note that we do not charge out-of-state tuition fees. And so that is an attraction for students who may live outside of Louisiana. Those out-of-state tuition fees can get pretty high up there, but we do not charge for that. So it's a flat tuition and fee rate for any student, no matter where their permanent residence is. And this chart just breaks down the tuition and fees per semester and per credit hour. So how to apply to our program. We will still be using DICAS, whether we continue as a dietetic internship or we get approved for the reorganization of the graduate program. As I mentioned, we're expecting approval this January of 2024. So you will still submit your application through DICAS, and I put that link there, but it's dicas.liaisoncas.com, and go ahead and create a username and password if you haven't already. And then it's very simple. Once you enter into the DICAS system, you really just search for programs, and you can start typing in Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady, and it'll pop up. So you complete your DICAS application with everything that we mentioned in the previous slides. Once your DICAS application has been submitted, you will receive an email from the FranU, from us, from the Office of Admissions, just to complete a supplemental application. And the supplemental application is just a very, very short application, just asking you additional information that the university likes to capture that DICAS does not capture. And again, this deadline to apply is February 15th, which is the deadline for every other internship program. And because of we are anticipating moving to a graduate program, graduate programs do not participate in the match. So we are not anticipating that our students will have to participate in the match for this cycle. And because of that, we will notify you that of your acceptance status before the match date. So the match date has been established as April 7th of 2024. You will get notified before that date whether or not you were accepted into our program, so you can make decisions before that deadline.
And I'll take back over just to kind of recap what we've talked about in the slides thus far. So why do we want you to choose FranU? So we are a faith-based environment. Our mission is based on the mission and values of St. Francis of Assisi, who's pictured here on the top of the slide. We, like we talked about, want to build servant leaders, and that's based on those mission and values as well. And secondly, is our simulation lab. So we recently moved into St. Francis Hall, which is a brand new building and a brand new simulation lab with state-of-the-art facilities and mannequins and great opportunities to train hands-on with your own cohort and also with other disciplines within our program, within our School of Health Professions. It is a fast track program, so it is rigorous, but it's 17 months long, and that includes your master's as well. We reviewed a variety of rotation sites in and around the Baton Rouge, Louisiana and Lafayette, Louisiana areas. And we also do extensive practicing within our curriculum to assist in the RD exam and passage of the RD exam based on the different domains that are included in the exam. We also have lots of leadership and service opportunities. So we have service learning program, which allows us to be joined with communities within the Baton Rouge area and sometimes Lafayette as well, to allow the students to show that servant leadership and help those out in the community who are less fortunate than us. We also offer financial aid assistance. Again, we have dedicated time to prepare for the exam. We do have scheduled breaks, of course, because we follow the schedule of the college. So you'll have breaks built into each semester to kind of give you a little reprieve from your courses and rotations as you go along. And then lastly, if we are approved, we will be the first ASIN accredited graduate program along the Gulf Coast, and one of the few in the entire Southeast region of the US. And that's something we're really proud about. And just to mention, this picture here is from our most recent cohort that started in August. So for more information, you can go to our website, which is www.franu.edu/MSNS. This video will be on our YouTube channel. We also have Facebook and Instagram social media that you can follow us there. So if you have any questions, here's our contact information. Dr. Fake, who's on this call as well, and then our academic support coordinator, Teosha Nelson.